So this is a demonstration of the bubble sort algorithm, and it's actually the example on the worksheet, but I'm going to talk you through this and just explain each step of the way. So I've been asked to sort the letters R, Y, P, G and O into order using the bubble sort algorithm. So the first step is just to write them into this table in my neatest handwriting, which will probably get worse as I go through this. Okay, so the table tells us which two items we are going to compare. We're comparing R and Y. R and Y are already in the correct order, so I copy them down along with everything else. The next two items to compare are Y and P. Clearly they're not in order, so on the next line I'm going to swap those round. Everything else stays as it was. Handwriting's getting messier already. And now I'm to Y and G. Obviously they're in the wrong order, so I can swap those round. Everything else stays as it was. And finally Y and O, and they're in the wrong order, so I'm going to swap those round on the line below. Made a mistake there we go. And everything else stays as it was. So what the bubble sort does is every pass through the list, it takes the value that is going to be at the rear of the remaining items and puts it there. So Y is last alphabetically, so that has been placed at the back, and we won't need to look at that again, which is why there are fewer comparisons as we do each pass through the list. So we go back to the beginning. We're looking at R and P and comparing those. P comes alphabetically before R, so I swap those round. Everything else stays the same. This Y isn't going to change now. I can fill this in all the way down if I wanted to. I'm now to R and G. They're in the wrong order, so I swap those on the next line. Everything else stays the same. And finally, for this pass, we have R and O, and they're in the wrong order, so I'm going to swap those around, and everything else stays the same. So I've now made two passes through the list, so both of those items are in the right order. So R will be in that position, and that is not going to change throughout the rest of the algorithm. So I go back to the beginning. P and G, wrong order, swap. Copy the remaining value down. P and O, wrong order, swap them. Copy the remaining value down. And I've come to the end of the list as well. So my last three items are now in order. P is not going to change, that's in the right order. And finally, I've just got to do a final pass, and there's only two items left. That's G and O. They're in the correct order, so I just copy them down. And we've sorted RYPGO into GOPRY. That's ascending alphabetical order using the bubble sort algorithm.